Hello everyone and welcome to episode 67 of the Owl Fishing Podcast. I am your host Thomas Carey and today we will be talking about the WOW signal. Now before I begin, I will explain what the WOW signal is and all this in depth. Background, bandwidth, time variation, the searches for reoccurrence of the signal, and then I will talk about my theory on it. The WOW signal was a narrowband radio transmission that was picked up very strongly on August 15, 1977 at the Big Ear Radio Telescope in Ohio State University in the United States during the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Though it originated from the region of the constellation Sagittarius, it had properties of extraterrestrial transmission. Jerry R. Ehman, an astronomer, picked up on this anomaly several days later when analysing data logs recorded by the computer at the telescope. Ehman highlighted and annotated the alphanumeric signal strength sequence 6EQUJ5 on the printout from the computer with the note WOW, a marking that would one day give this phenomenon its commonly known nickname. The entire sequence remained present for the entire 72-second observation period during which Big Ear was sensitive to that part of the sky. Although extensive follow-up work and several suggestions for its possible causes such as reflections of space debris, interstellar scintillation, and emission of cometary hydrogen clouds, the radio signal has never been replicated and no terrestrial or astrophysical explanation has been firmly identified for it. Although some investigators have considered the possibility that it is an extraterrestrial transmission, it has only been observed once and thus cannot be reproducible. Even now, the WOW signal is still of interest to the scientific community, leading to specific observation campaigns and talk of unusual astrophysical events and appearances in popular media. The WOW signal had a bandwidth of less than 10 kHz, making it a narrowband emission based on its rather small fractional bandwidth of about 0.001%. But compared to some astrophysical mazes whose bandwidths may be less than 1 kHz, or the frequency of resolution that is available to the state-of-art narrowband SETI searches, which may reach as low as around 1 kHz, the 10 kHz bandwidth is large by comparison. The Big Ear telescope had a receiver that could simultaneously monitor 50 10 kHz wide channels. The output of each channel was recorded as a column of alphanumeric intensity values on the computer printout. The WOW signal is essentially confined to a single column, indicating that it was highly localized within one frequency channel. In fact, when the observation was made, the Big Ear Radio Telescope had a flexibility of adjustment only in terms of its height above the horizon and had to use the rotation of the Earth to scan the sky. Based on the rate of rotation of the Earth and the width of the beam of the telescope in space, any point in the sky can be observed for no more than 72 seconds. Thus, any extraterrestrial radio signal, if it were continuous, would be expected to be observed for just 72 seconds, during which the strength of the signal would gradually build up during the first 36 seconds and then falling away as the telescope departed from it. In other words, the signal should be the shape of the WOW signal. Various efforts by Ehman and other astronomers were made to recover or further identify the signal, since a true continuous source would have been expected to appear in the Big Ear's two feed horns approximately 3 minutes apart. A repeat detection should have been occurred, but did not. Ehman conducted multiple follow-up observations with the Big Ear in the months following the initial detection, all without success. Additional searches by Robert H. Gray using the Meta Array at Oak Ridge Observatory in 1987 and 1989 found no reoccurrence of the signal. In July 1995, as a test of signal detection software for the SETI League's upcoming Project Argus, Executive Director H. Paul Church conducted several drift scan observations of the WOW signal coordinates using a 12-meter radio telescope at the National Radio Astronomy Observatory, Green Bank and West Virginia. This effort also resulted in no result. Gray-Hulett followed up on these searches in 1995 and 1996 with the Very Large Array, which is much more sensitive than the Big Ear, and found no hint of the signal. Gray and Simon Ellingston searched once more in 1999 with the 26-meter radio telescope at the University of Tasmania's St. Pleasant Radio Observatory during 6 14-hour observing sessions over a few days, targeted at positions on the sky close to that of the WOW signal detection. They again found nothing like the WOW signal. My theory to why they couldn't find the WOW signal again is that I think 4 possibilities. The first one is that they never actually sent out another signal into space, which is why they never received the signal again. The second one is that it was too weak to be received. The third one, it was that it was blocked by something that couldn't be reflected. And the fourth is that we received the signal by accident. If it was an alien life that sent the signal, they didn't send it again. If you have any theories of your own, please don't hesitate to put them in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Alpha Sync Podcast. In the next episode, I will be talking about one of my stories. Peace.